probably just being at Granny and Grandpa's house. Always dressed up, and always all the grandkids on the stairs taking pictures. Tons of fun. That's all I got.
For me, it's hard to pick two. I remember one that was here, and it was the last time I think that Jenny was with us. And right over here in front of this tree, they lined up chairs, and they had my dad, Harley, and Tracy, and Jenny, and Mike all lined up together. So that's one of my favorite memories. That was when we were doing it here. But before that, I remember one at Jenny's house where the Santa Claus came, and Jenny's front door was all frosted up, and Santa's face appeared through the frosted door. And there was so many of us packed in Jenny's little house. So those are the two special ones for me.
They're all precious. The older I get, the more precious they are.
I agree.
Just like that video in there.
I know.
That thing's priceless.
That is. That is really neat.
Well, I imagine all of them that Mom was at was all my favorites.
Probably to remember all the ones that have gone beyond here, and to know that the quilts that Granny T, Mary Trueblood #1, the family quilt that she and her Grandpa Frank put together is still going strong. That's probably my best memory.
Your favorite True Blood Christmas memory? I know all of the True Blood Christmases at my current house, at Grandma's house, is what it was. Seeing all the photos and imagining that living room and how all of us somehow, all of these people fit in there.
Mine was at Granny T's house because we were the original group, grandkids at Granny T's house.
You feel better?
We taught you kids the value of the True Blood family Christmas. That's true. And it was all brought on by at Granny T's house. And sitting on the stairs having pictures taken.
Christmas Eve at the shelter house. It was the best night of the year. One year we got sleds. I remember. Okay, I got one. One year we had sleds. We got them for Christmas, and there was no snow, but there was like frost on the ground. So we went and sledded down the hill at Fortville Park, all of us. It was so much fun. It was awesome. Santa was the coolest.
My favorite memory that it was 1987, and David and I had dated steady for almost 4 years. And that evening before we came down to Fortville, Christmas Eve, he gave me my engagement ring. And so we got there, and Granny T was sitting on the couch, and I went over and I sat beside her, and I sat there for a minute, and I said, well, and I showed her my ring, and she patted my lap and said, well, it's about time. And so that's just my favorite Christmas Eve memory.
Oh, that would have been probably in about 1969, 68 or 69, and we always had Christmas Eve at Granny T's and Grandpa Frank's, and Grandpa Frank used to like to make homemade wine, and it was the cheapest wine you could make, and Uncle Ronnie Cassidy and I had a little too much of the wine, and we got probably a little out of hand, but I used to tease Ronnie. He was a baseball player, and I teased him about Roberto Clemente, a great Hall of Famer that got killed. And I told him that night, I can remember, I said, oh, his real name was Bob Clemens. He wasn't even a foreigner. And Ronnie spent the whole evening explaining to me that Roberto Clemente was a true foreigner. That's the way he would say it. But we had a great time that night. We both had headaches the next morning, I remember that. But It was all Grandpa Frank's fault because he made the wine. I wouldn't have drank it if it hadn't been for that.
My favorite True Blood Christmas Eve memory, I have a couple, but I loved all the Christmas Eves when I was a little girl at Grandpa and Grandma's house. I remember one year, and I don't know how old I would have been, but Grandpa had made wine, and all the grown-ups were drinking wine, and I just have a lot of memories of my grandpa. I loved my grandpa, and I love Granny too. And one year, I remember Granny got all of the girls necklaces, I think, in little jewelry boxes, and I still have the little jewelry box, and I probably have the necklace somewhere too. And then my last favorite Christmas, True Blood Christmas Eve memory that I'm going to share is the year that Mom and Dad had it at the farm. Aunt Eleanor came, and she came like a couple hours early. It was an awesome time. I was a senior in high school, I think, and Zane was about to leave, I think, for the military, and everybody was there, and it was a perfect night.
That's always at Granny's house, and when we always got our pictures taken on the stairs, and it was crazy and crowded, and it was the best Christmases ever. Oh, and then Stace, this is one that we share of our favorite Christmas.
The terrible Christmas
The
skirts?
terrible Christmas skirts that
With
our
the jingle bells on
mother
the bottom?
made us, and they were felt. They were white, and they had jingle bells, and they were green and red, and we had to wear them. And it was rough.
It was
It was
awful.
rough, and it was it's still with me. Bad.
It was traumatic.
So bad, yeah. But she made them, and we wore them, and it was rough. But that's it.